Criminals with mental disorders are winding up back on the streets. So that's a serious issue for people. Jails are stuck with nowhere to turn with these inmates because of budget cuts to mental health care facilities. So a criminal who's mentally unstable but who has only been arrested for, say, a misdemeanor might be released. And we know that many of the recent mass shootings we've seen have been linked to mental disorders. So that's something that we are digging into.
And in fact, the Illinois Sheriff's Association says that's why it's against the ban on assault weapons, to say the issue is mental health. We need to deal with it. So those stories and more coming up right here on News 4 at 6. All right, thank you, Sharon. Here's a frightening thought. The next mass killer, school shooter, could be sitting in a local jail cell at this hour, but be released tomorrow.
That person could very easily be your next little neighbor.
And here's why some inmates diagnosed with mental disorders end up back on the street because of budget cuts to mental health care facilities. Ray Preston found out Illinois is one of the hardest hit states.
The latest numbers we have show that Illinois cut mental health funding by $114 million just a few years ago. That's more than any other state except Kentucky, California, and New York. At the St. Clair County Jail, the superintendent will tell you,
we just have too many people with mental problems in our jail.
Tonight, there are 493 detainees in the jail. 125 have been diagnosed with a mental disorder. That's 1 in 4 detainees. Many are facing misdemeanor charges and will bond out. That means even though they have been diagnosed with a mental disorder, they could soon be back in your neighborhood.
That person could very easily be your next little neighbor, so therefore you should be concerned about him. He has access to coming in contact with your kids and with the entire family.
Some say one problem is when lawmakers look to trim a budget, it's easy to cut mental health programs.
If you see a new road built, okay, my tax dollars are going to something that's good for society. If you see a mental hospital, you don't get the same effect.
In St. Clair County, there is always a deputy on duty who is trained to deal with the mentally ill out in the field.
We pretty much look at different clues as to why a person is acting, a certain way. It may be a physical clue, a verbal clue.
Additional funding for mental health programs would obviously be part of a solution to the problem, but Illinois is obviously a state that is very much in the red right now, so any funding would not come anytime soon. In Belleville, Ray Preston, News 4.
They would text tonight, St. Charles.